Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alfany. We have a lot of big news today. Let's begin right here. Let's jump right in. This is from Quant.network. It's a quote from Citibank. Have a listen at this. It says, quote, "We think CBDCs have at least could have at least 2 billion users and $5 trillion plus in circulation. Half could be using partly DLT linked models." So half are going to use DLT models is what they're saying. $5 trillion. If half of them are using DLT linked models, and we're talking $5 trillion, then that means that what they're estimating is at least $2.5 trillion flowing through DLT linked models, which is what? XRP XLM, Algorand, Hedera, the bank coins. What does it do to their price? My apologies. I'm a little excited when I hear numbers like this. But 2.5 trillion. And then I keep in mind, they're part of the legacy system, Citi. So they're going to put the legacy system forward and they're going to try to downplay DLT as much as possible. They're going to undersell everything, right? They don't want to really cause FOMO, but they sort of have to admit the truth, which is why here they're telling as usual. But even in the way that they undersell it, because I believe we're going to move much more than that. That's just my personal belief based on estimations, based on a lot of the evidence that we see where we can access both their money. Keep that in mind. We can access their money, the bank money. We're going to move their money, but we do what they can't do. We can move the unbanked money as well. Bring all that together. Then on top of that, when it comes to tokenization, they either need us, or if they want to take that stance where they're trying to, they believe that they're going to take a huge swath of the tokenization market. Absolutely not. They can't compete against us when it comes to tokenization. Not only that, we heard the Bank of International Settlements say recently, I covered a document recently, where the Bank of International Settlements say, hey, listen, we have to stay close to the fintechs. We have to stay close to the blockchain companies, the DLT companies. Why? Because they're always innovating and we want to be in on those innovations. Now, I'm paraphrasing. Of course, you can go read those documents yourself. It's no secret. Just go to bis.org and you just scroll down that little CBDC section and give those documents a read. But even they know you can't compete with us. Given regulatory clarity, we're going to dominate. The bank coin companies have been holding back, not just held back, but they've been holding themselves back for quite a bit of time. When they unleash this type of capital, $5 trillion is on the table here. We continue to hear them talk trillions and trillions. We see that they're getting impatient. We're going to dominate. Wait, let me not get ahead of myself. Okay, so that's it. That's this here. Let's continue on. We have more big news. Let's keep going. Oh, it's a good day. I hope everybody out there is having a good day today. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for being here. All right, tomorrow we'll get back to the comment section replies, chapter that I usually do. Today I'm not going to do it because it's just too many articles. I really want to get through these today and get you all of this information. So this article here is from Today, and it's titled "European Bank Ventures into Crypto with Bitcoin, XRP, and Other Digital Assets." Mass adoption is occurring right before our eyes. Trickles of it. They can't hold themselves back. And this isn't just any bank. I can't get around it. I'm going to probably be a little bit excited this video. This is exciting times. Sometimes I'm not going to be excited. You have to permit me a little bit of excitement. People get upset sometimes when I'm a little bit excited. All right. It says here, through a planned partnership with leading European cryptocurrency exchange, Bitpanda, Raiffeisen Landesbank, a member of Austria's top banking group, has become the first major traditional bank in the European Union to enter the world of digital assets. if this isn't a boom, I don't know, if this doesn't make a mark, if this is not an indicator, if this doesn't tell people something, I don't know what will. Sometimes I say things and people may take it where, well, I've been saying it just because it sounds good. Like when I say they're getting desperate. No, I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying it. You see it. They're jumping in before regulatory clarity. They're jumping in. And I'm talking about globally, because what we're involved in is a global phenomenon. Global. And when we talk about flipping the switch, we're talking about globally. Because that money will flow. Those trillions will flow. I've had countless videos that talk about trillions or titled Trillions Will Flow, because that's exactly what I believe. And there's enough money to go around. But let's continue on here. It says here, RLB, they're shortening it to an acronym, the long name of the bank, is poised to break new ground by including cryptocurrencies and other asset classes in its digital investing offering, which will be a first among traditional banks in the EU. A first. We're right there, people. We're right there. It says RLB will join the list of banks such as German digital bank N26, German cloud banking platform Mambu, UK fintech Plum, Italian neobank Hype, and more that have introduced investment platforms via Bitpanda Tech. All I need to know is that this is a part of mass adoption, because they're going to be involving themselves in cryptocurrencies deeply. This is a major bank. And on top of that, XRP is there to play. They're there to play. That's all I need to know. And of course, Bitcoin is going to get its money as well. It says here, currently, Bitpanda covers over 2,500 assets spread across 5 asset classes. Oh, yeah. Also, keep in mind who's going to be the last one standing. A lot of crypto is already getting crushed and eliminated, and that's only going to escalate. And the last one standing will be the bank coin. So when I look at this, I'm not looking at all the different cryptos that they might be using. I think Bitcoin definitely will have its place, definitely has its place. The bank coins are solidly a main part of the future of moving capital back and forth, either via the banks and offerings with the banks, or outright. That's exactly how I feel. But we need things like this to happen. This is huge. Now, let's move on to another article here. All right. I think we're making a good pace here. So this article here is from U.Today, and it goes as such. XRP holds strong as a top 3 cryptocurrency on major Korean exchange. Listen, I don't think that's going to change. I don't. As a matter of fact, I'll go a step further. I think this is going to happen all around the world at some point in the future. I think people are going to get a taste for XRP, how good it is to utilize XRP, build on XRP, day trade XRP, swing trade XRP, long hold, invest in XRP. I mean, there's so many different ways that XRP is a great thing. It's just my humble opinion. You don't have to agree. You don't have to agree. Okay. But they got a taste of that, and they're saying, wait a minute. Yeah, we're going to stick with XRP. Yeah, we're going to play a little bit. Let's read this little tidbit here. It says the XRP token has maintained its position as one of the most traded cryptocurrencies on Upbit. That's only going to increase in the future. It says South Korea's largest exchange. The token's trading volume reached $600 million on Upbit alone in late March, as was reported by U.Today. The latest data from CoinMarketCap shows that XRP still commands 8.57% of Upbit's $1.7 billion in trading volume, making it the 3rd largest cryptocurrency on the exchange. Can you imagine around the world what's going to occur when we've heard word that so many places have love for XRP, especially like Japan. Japan financial system needs XRP badly. In every possible way. They need the XRPL badly. Smart contracts to be able to, the ability to cut costs, the traceability, rapid deployment, be able to do business in corridors around the world, move capital around the world, the tokenization of all of these different commodities and such like that, and trading in the value of those different commodities as you use them to back assets. There's so much. The real estate market, you have a lot of these different homes is what I'm hearing. Homes in Japan that people are leaving for whatever reasons. There's a lot of different reasons for that, right? And there's homes just sitting there. Now you'll be able to sell them a little bit easier. Maybe you tokenize that offering and you break it up into pieces and 100 people buy a piece of that property, but it's still sold, right? I mean, there's so much opportunity. It says here, the rising popularity of XRP in Korea is partly attributed to the support it has gained from the Korean financial institutions. Ripple, a company that utilizes XRP in its products and services, has actively promoted the use of XRP in cross-border payments in Asia, with a particular emphasis on Korea. In November, so it's also telling you Ripple's done a great job. How do they phrase it here? In promoting the use of XRP. We bear witness to it. They've done that around the world. So it's just a matter of time before we start to see those seeds come to fruition. We're starting to see trickles of it now. So now let's move here. All right. So let's just very briefly go through this post here on ripple.com. It's their Q1 2023 XRP markets report. Let's just read this little tidbit here. It says, Ripple publishes the quarterly XRP markets report to voluntarily provide transparency and regular updates on the company's views on the state of crypto markets, including its quarterly XRP sales, relevant XRP ledger, and XRP related announcements. As an XRP holder, Ripple believes proactive communication and transparency are part of being a responsible stakeholder. Notable takeaways. Let's just go over that. The first bullet point says total XRP sales by Ripple in Q1 2023 net of purchases were $361 million versus $226 million. I'm rounding the numbers off. $226 million the previous quarter. Next bullet point. XRP ledger on-chain activity remains strong, with decentralized exchange volumes increasing 34% to $115 million in Q1 2023 versus Q4 2022. XRP average daily volume on central exchanges jumped 46% in Q1 to $1 billion from $698 billion. We haven't seen anything yet. But next bullet point says the EU, UK, and UAE proposed new regulatory regimes for crypto focused on licensing and activity-based frameworks. Oh man, we are living in a good age right now. This is my humble opinion. Next bullet point, developers propose a new interoperability. I say that because I can't wait. Oh my word. If they do what I believe they're going to do, it'll be a good time. It'll be a very, very good time. And the wait will have been more than worth it, but we shall see. We shall see. Next bullet point, developers propose a new interoperability standard, XLS38D, for the XRP ledger that would enable users to transfer digital assets and data between blockchains, regardless of underlying protocol or programming language. That is major. Major. You see what they're doing in XRPL? Like they are making the XRPL an absolute beast. And I'm all for it. That's better for business. Better for interoperability. Better to let that legacy system money flow right into our pockets. That's how I feel about that. So now let's move on here to a little bit of stellar news. So this article here is from thecryptobasic.com and it's titled Stellar Partner launches cross-border payment solution in Chile. Now, I definitely think Stellar has a big part to play in this. I mean, this is one of our corridors down there. It says Stellar partner MoneyGram International has launched the MoneyGram online service in Chile. According to a press release today, residents in Chile can utilize the solution to send money from the country to friends and families worldwide. Commenting on the development, MoneyGram chairman and CEO Alex Holmes said the company is thrilled to launch the MGO service in Chile, one of South America's largest remittance markets. Quote, after our recent successful launch in Brazil, we're especially excited about our strong momentum in Chile, said Holmes. Remittance service in Chile It is noteworthy that over the past 25 years, MoneyGram has offered diverse ways for Chileans to send money worldwide. Okay, so they were already there. So it says Chile is one of the largest remittance corridors in South America, and that's why everyone wants to play down there. It says in 2021, a migrant population of 1.5 million people sent a whopping $762 million through traditional means. However, there is a new demand for online cross-border settlements in Chile. MoneyGram hopes to address these demands through MGO solutions. So then it moves on here. It says here, MoneyGram is a major fintech company that enables users to move and manage money across various parts of the world. Through its set of fintech offerings, MoneyGram clients can send funds directly into bank accounts and mobile wallets. Through MoneyGram mobile app, MoneyGram users can also buy, hold, and sell cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. How do you not say Stellar XLM on there? Or at least USDC. It says the company has been taking key steps to offer the best fintech services to its clients. One of such includes partnering with Ripple's rival. No, they're not. They're not a rival to Ripple. They don't step on each other's toes. They work hand in hand. They go to all the panels together, all of the different Davos together. No problems whatsoever. They're not rivals. They complement each other. It says the Stellar Development Foundation. MoneyGram collaborated with SDF in 2021 to utilize blockchain technology for cross-border settlements. We're in play. Oh, man. Then they go into, they like to divide and conquer. Then they go into this little section here that's titled Ripple's rivalry with Stellar. I'm not even going to go into that there. There is no rivalry. All the bank coins work together, have no problem with each other. We're not in competition. And there is more than enough money to go around for all the bank coins to explode. Hence interoperability, capital flowing from one into the other. How do you compete with each other when the capital is flowing from you to them, from them to you? No, it doesn't work that way. And we know what we're doing. We're taking over, creating a system that's similar to the legacy banking system where they all work together, right? And money can flow from one bank to the other. It's the same thing here. We are the new financial system. Many don't understand that. I don't expect them to. But yes, this is an interesting development, to say the least. And now what I was saying before is Stellar is deep in South America, in Central America. Stellar is deep in Southeast Asia. I mean, we're deep everywhere, Europe. So anytime that someone who's a partner of ours goes to implement something new, a new offering, I firmly believe we're going to be in the game and we're going to play. Now, they may not deploy us immediately. And they're setting up. I can understand that. And they want to make their presence felt primarily. But I do believe in the future that we definitely will have a huge hand to play. There is no one better than us. There's nothing better than us. Franklin Templeton told you that, right? So what makes you think MoneyGram is not going to use Stellar down there? But we shall see, right? But all right, so now let's move on to another little bit of information here. Another little post here from Quant. Quant's been posting a lot of powerful information on their Twitter. It says here, quote, if you think about blockchain, it does three things. It allows a payment mechanism, it allows a smart contract, and it allows a general ledger. So that's going to take out the frictional cost in a transaction, unquote, said FTI Global CEO Jenny Johnson. Franklin Templeton, we continue to extract these quotes. Franklin Templeton is all in. Quant is staring at Franklin Templeton like, wait a minute, why is only Stellar getting to play? I guarantee you that Quant is on the phone with Franklin Templeton saying, we have Overledger, right? You know, we can glue you together with any DLT you want. You know that, right? Let us play. Quant is, they're so hungry for banks. I love it. I do. I love it. And, when there's regulatory clarity and true mass adoption, I think Quant is going to be one of the absolute greatest rises anyone ever sees. But, and I gather that from everything that I've been seeing, they have the best deals. They have connections with an unbelievable amount of banks. I mean, and they stay hungry. They're everywhere. and they're dominating, and they're on three that I can remember. They're on three different infrastructure boards or governing bodies. That's a powerful position to be in. So now let's move on here to another article, okay? So this article is from news.bitcoin.com, and it's titled, BRICS currency will erode US dollar's dominance. This is coming from a former White House economist, so it's reputable. And, you know, I've been talking about this for a long time now. And people always say, oh, no, Mick, this is, you know, the dollar is forever. The dollar is bulletproof. It's OK. And now you're having one economist after another coming out and saying, hey, there's a problem. One reputable person after another coming out and saying, hey, there's a problem. But it shouldn't take that. We researchers on the ground have been telling people there's a problem with the dollar for a long time. All right, maybe they'll listen now. This is someone from the White House. So let's read this little tidbit here. It says, a former White House economic advisor, Joseph Sullivan, discussed de-dollarization and the potential impacts of a BRICS currency on the US dollar in an opinion piece published by Foreign Policy Monday. Sullivan was a special advisor and a staff economist at the White House Council of Economic Advisors during redacted administration. He is currently a senior advisor at Lindsay Group, an economic advisory firm. Referring to the hypothetical BRICS currency as the BRIC, he warned, quote, if the BRICS use only the BRIC for international trade, they would remove an impediment that now thwarts their efforts to escape dollar hegemony. Quote, those efforts now often take the form of bilateral agreements to denominate trade in non-dollar currencies, like the yuan, now the main currency of trade between China and Russia. He continued, the former White House economic advisor believes that it is, quote, realistic to imagine the BRICS using only the BRIC for trade. He added that the creation of a BRICS currency, quote, the BRICS would also be poised to achieve a level of self-sufficiency in international trade that has eluded the world's other currency unions. Quote, he's telling people, quote, because a BRICS currency union, unlike any before it, would not be among countries united by shared territorial borders, its members would likely be able to produce a wider range of goods than any existing monetary union. Times are changing rapidly. I think everyone should stay privy to what's going on here. It's going to be important. Of course, you're going to need something to glue all these systems together. The BRICS is not going to use the West systems, and the West is not going to use the BRICS systems. New financial system right in the middle. We're helping all that capital flow. And I think they know that. I think that's one of the reasons why they're trying to rush towards regulatory clarity now. There's a major push for that. And a lot of the legacy, large legacy system financial entities are beginning to openly praise and utilize distributed ledger technologies like Franklin Templeton as an example. So I'm going to leave that there. Let's move on here to another article. All right. We're doing better than I thought with on the time, actually. So this article here is from CoinDesk.com, and it's titled, Google Cloud to help accelerate Polygon's growth via new partnership. Polygon Matic is one of our original utility coins that I spoke about in the early days of the channel. They've continued to do well. Holy smokes, Google is stepping in. Never forget that Google also has a tie, a major tie to Hedera. They're on the Hedera governing board. All right. So I always keep that in the back of my mind as well. It says the tech giant will be, quote, strategic cloud provider for Polygon protocols. Google Cloud is working with Polygon Labs to help developers make it easier to build, launch, and grow their Web3 products and decentralized applications on the Ethereum-based Layer 2 blockchain. Under the new partnership, Google Cloud will bring its blockchain node engine, the tech giant's fully managed node hosting service, to the Polygon ecosystem, which will help developers focus on building on the protocol while retaining complete control over where nodes are deployed, the company said in a statement issued during Consensus 2023 in Austin, Texas. All right, there you have it. So I continue to expect big things out of Polygon, much bigger than what they've done, even though they've done a great job so far. So now let's move on here. This article here is from businessinsider.in and it's titled, "The dollar falls behind the yuan for the first time in Chinese cross-border transactions." You seeing what's going on here? All right, let's scroll down and read this little tidbit. It says, for the first time ever, the yuan has eclipsed the US dollar as the most used currency for Chinese cross-border transactions. Times are changing. The yuan's use in cross-border payments and receipts rose to 48.4% at the end of March, while the dollar's share slid to 46.7%, according to Reuters' calculation of data from China's State Administration of Foreign Exchange. In 2010, the yuan's share was nearly 0%, while the dollar's was 83%. You see that massive change there? There's a reason for that. It says, according to Bloomberg, the reversal comes amid China's efforts to empower the yuan, also known as the renminbi, in trade and capital markets. Meanwhile, Chinese bonds have seen greater inflows recently alongside outflow increases to Hong Kong stocks. Increased reliance on the yuan will reduce any risks of currency mismatches. For this reason, China's State Council is encouraging expansions in the renminbi's use for cross-border transactions. They're going to need something to glue all this together. The world is rapidly becoming multipolar. Rapidly. I've never seen anything like it. Well, let's move on here to another article. So, this article is from Bloomberg.com and is titled, ECB wakes up to greedflation. I've never heard that before. Greedflation as key culprit in price struggle. Profit margins outpacing wages as inflation driver since 2021. And then next bullet point, tit for tat, dynamic risk, stoking second round effects. Let's read this little tidbit. It says, the European Central Bank is catching up to an inflation risk that's proving far more powerful than the wage price spiral that policymakers have been worrying about. Officials speaking this month increasingly highlight the importance of surging profits in the Eurozone's most severe spell of inflation, with President Christine Lagarde warning in late March of a tit-for-tat dynamic where widening corporate margins propel salaries and prices even higher. Yeah, sure. I mean, I think we've all seen that. We've all known that. And this is something that's discussed quite often, actually, in daily life. Price gouging for a myriad of reasons. But that doesn't negate from what was caused by a loose monetary policy. That doesn't negate that doesn't absolve you from doing your job and correcting the mistakes that you have made. So yes, corporations are going to do certain things. That's, it's the nature of the beast. But don't take your eye off of the ball. And this is not going to serve as a distraction from us watching you and making sure you do what you're supposed to do, in my humble opinion. But yeah, on the other hand, sure, there shouldn't be this type of activity happening. So take actions as an authority, or, however you want to wield your power, you make the right phone calls. And I'm sure a resolution can be had for this, right? But we both know that. So now let's move on here. I wanted to cover this one here because the global economy is going to have a massive effect on the rapid rise of the new financial system. There's going to need to be more traceability. There's theft everywhere right now, from people trying to steal oil, from people stealing massive amounts of goods off of trucks, trains, things like that. This is happening around the world. They're just not covering it on mainstream media. So you're going to need traceability. You're going to need, better ways to move that capital back and forth to pay people quickly. People are going to want those paychecks and be able to ensure that those paychecks are going to come, especially with a lot of this, what do they call that when you, independent contractor ship, and people are jumping from one independent contractor to a company, hiring company to another, or app to another. You get what I'm saying? My apologies. I'm not so eloquent with that. But anyway, this article here is from newsnationnow.com. It's titled U.S. Freight Recession. It says, is the U.S. in a freight recession? This is something everybody better keep an eye on for a lot of important reasons. First bullet point, truck spot load postings were down 70% in March from the year prior. And listen, if we have anybody who's in the freight industry, let us know if this is true. Is this what you're seeing, or is this just what they're saying in articles? All right. I would love to hear from those people. It says truck spot load postings were down 70% in March from the year prior. Next bullet point. Lower freight demand has hit smaller trucking companies especially hard. Everything that's small is getting hit hard. Small banks, small businesses, everything is getting crushed right now. So this is not surprising to me. So next bullet point. Other freight metrics also point to an economic slowdown. It says last year, my apologies, a pop-up happened. It says last year, record high diesel prices squeezed margins at logistics companies across the country. But as those rates have fallen, a new challenge has emerged: low demand. It says, quote, now we're in a situation where there are too many trucks for available loads, said Todd Spencer. So now we have a name. President of the Owner-Operator Independent Drivers Association. The reduced freight activity represents a marked shift from just 1 year ago, when pent-up consumer demand far exceeded supply as retailers struggled to maintain inventory levels. This is last week. What is this pop-up? It's from the website. There's like the thing keeps popping up. It says what in the world? Every time I click down, it pops up. My word. It says last week, the president of J.B. Hunt, one of the nation's largest trucking companies, declared a freight recession. It's a development that could signal a broader downturn in the U.S. economy. In March, the American Trucking Association, ATA, Truck Tonnage Index, which is an indicator of demand, fell 5.4% from the month prior. It's the largest monthly drop since the start of the redacted. Whoo, I almost said that word. YouTube doesn't like that word. So that index largely takes into account contract freight, but data suggests the spot freight market has been hit much harder. The spot market, which smaller carriers are more likely to rely on, is the one-time price to move a load based on the current market rate. Spot load postings last month were down nearly 70% compared to March of last year, according to DAT Freight and Analytics. I'm going to stop right there. Once again, if you want to read the entirety of that, and they have this is a good article. It's on newsnationnow.com. This is something I'm definitely going to keep my eye on, just like I'm keeping my eye on commercial real estate and many other things. OK, so now let's move on here. And we're going to close out with this one here. We're going to close out with this article from cryptopotato.com. Oh, my word. So this article is titled "The De-Dollarization is Happening Fast." This is said by Circle CEO. Everybody's beginning to talk about it. Let's read what he says. It says Jeremy Allaire, CEO of stablecoin giant Circle, spoke at Consensus 2023 on Wednesday about where companies like his fit into the current US dollar system and regulatory regime. The executive believes a widespread loss of faith in the US banking is contributing to de-dollarization, and that digital dollar stablecoins will help it retain its global dominance. Listen, no. What's going to help them retain their dominance is utilization of the bank coin blockchains, 100%. They need traceability. They need to free up a lot of capital. They need new capital-based opportunities. Tokenization is what I'm talking about here. They need to be able to digitize any asset and issue it on chain to move that value quickly and bring liquidity back to a lot of illiquid assets. They need everything. They do, 100%. So yes, can stablecoins play a part? Sure. But stablecoins are tied to the very fiat that's being destroyed. And you know that. So your USDC, no disrespect. I mean, no disrespect. But USDC is tied to a dollar that the rest of the world is going to war with right now. So if I don't have a lot of trust in the dollar, let's just say, for instance, if I don't have a lot of trust in the dollar, how can I have a lot of trust in USDC? I need something that is going to hold its value and potentially make some gains, actually, you know, and protect my value so I lose nothing. Not something that's going to go down as soon as the dollar goes down, something that's diminished when the dollar is diminished. And all of the other powerful countries around the world are working on diminishing it. So that's how I look at it when I'm looking at stable coins. But don't get me wrong. Yeah, you're going to bring a lot of good volume to some of our Bankcoin blockchains. But I have to be rational and clear-minded and balanced when I look at these particular things. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.